Kwang Gun, the ruler of misfortune. Kwang Gun was the 15th king of Zhou Sun dynasty. He was born in 1575 and passed away in 1641. He was on the throne between 1608 and 1623. Although he was the king of Zhou Sun, along with Yun San Gun, he was the king with no Myoho after he died, because he was dethroned during his reign by Zhou Banzhong. During Jin Wei Ran, he successfully led the Zhou Sun government in place of his father, Sun Zhou, but after being dethroned, he lived 19 years more in exile, and he died at 67 years old in Jeju Island. The father of Kwang Gun was Sun Zhou, who was the 14th king, and his mother was Gong bin Kim Si. She was one of the royal concubines of Sun Zhou. The first wife of Sun Zhou was Yin Wang Hu, and although she had a generous personality, she didn't give birth to a prince to succeed Sun Zhou. Hence, Sun Zhou had to select a crown prince from the sons that he had from his royal concubines. Gun was his first son, but he was arrogant and violent, and he was even involved in a murder case. The other sons that bin Kim Si gave birth to, Yeon Gun and Shin Sung Gun, died early, so Kwang Gun could be selected as the crown prince. On the 8th of June in 1592, Kwang Gun was selected as the crown prince, and it was just right before Sun Zhou fled to the north. In particular, during the war, Sun Zhou wanted to flee to Yodong, so he divided the government into two parts, and it is called Bunzhou. Kwang Gun led one part of the government and the armies raised in the cause of loyalty, so he showed outstanding abilities. In 1606, young Chang Daegun was born between Sun Zhou and Mok Wang Hu, and Sun Zhou wanted young Chang Daegun to succeed him. In fact, Sun Zhou had an unfavorable attitude towards Kwang Gun. However, because young Chang Daegun was too young to be a king, and Kwang Gun was supported by many subjects, when Sun Zhou passed away in 1608, Kwang Gun finally took the crown. After rising to the throne, Kwang Gun introduced Dae Dong Bub. In those days, a lot of the people suffered from bong nab. Farmers had to offer the government various items used in it, and the items were called gong mul. Merchants and low-level officials procured gong mul that farmers were unable to gain, for the government instead of farmers, but they had to pay exorbitantly high interest to merchants who were in collusion with officials. Despite strong opposition from the merchants and landowners, Kwang Gun established Sun Haicheng and enforced Dae Dong Bub, to alleviate people's sufferings brought about by bong nab. Dae Dong Bub was the law, which allowed the people to pay tax with rice, instead of gong mul. Kwang Gun also pursued pragmatic diplomacy. In 1618, Chinese Ming dynasty asked Zhou Sun to dispatch troops to help Ming Nara with fighting against Hu Kem, founded by Noaru Hachi. However, Kwang Gun didn't want to dispatch troops because it could cause conflicts between Zhou Sun and Hu Kem. Hu Kem changed into Chung Nara later. Many subjects, who had flunkeyism for China, were strongly opposed to Kwang Gun, and although he inevitably sent 10,000 soldiers to assist Ming Nara, he also ordered the commander, Kong Hong Rib, to avoid any battles with Hu Kem and yield to it. It was the utilitarian diplomacy, to balance between Chinese Ming Nara and Hu Kem, founded by Yeo Jin Jock. Kwang Gun also had an interest in publishing. As it is widely known, he supported Her Jun to write Dong Yi Bo Gom, and many books such as Kuk Jo Bo Gom and Young Bier Chen Ka were republished and disseminated. Juk Sang San Sa Go, where the books of Zhou Sun Wang Zhou Sil Rock were stored, was newly installed in his reign.